So hey, it's been a minute since I've done any kind of vlogging, and even when I do the vlogging, I do the freaking clapping, which is so annoying. So I recorded a video last week that I still haven't put up. I'm pretty hesitant in putting it up because it deals with an issue that's pretty close to myself. Actually, it's not pretty close to, it is something that I deal with and I battle with and have been battling with for the past probably 30 years of my life. I'll go as far as saying maybe, 30, 31 years of my life. Anyway, the reason that I didn't upload it is because, number one, I was under the influence of, it sounds terrible to say, I mean, I had a few glasses of wine in me. I was at my best friend's house. This was right after we had kind of like a big discussion about some really, really deep, dark things, and I just decided to turn the camera on and start blabbing because I had just about, when my mind gets to a point where I can't contain my emotions, that's it. I just decide I'm just going to say what the fuck I want to say, and that's going to be the end of it. The problem with that is that I am somebody on YouTube, and I am somebody that doesn't really dive into this specific type of a topic, as you will, subject. It's not something everybody likes to talk about. It's something that's mentioned, thrown around. Last week we lost somebody really great in society as a celebrity, but you know what, I don't know, it cheapens it no matter how you say it. We lost the great Robin Williams. He was somebody that I looked up to. He was like my dad when my dad wasn't around in my life. That's a whole other story. In fact, there's a lot of inflections Robin Williams has had that remind me of my father, and I took it pretty bad. And the reason I took it as bad as I took it is because it was dealing in depression and suicide, and he was successful in his suicide. And a lot of people have a lot of different ways of looking at that, and I felt like so strongly about it to the point where it upset me that people were just cheapening or just saying depression, it's a serious issue. Yes, it is a serious issue. It's a serious issue when somebody is near wanting to kill themselves, even when they're not. When anyone feels depressed, it's a serious issue. It's nothing to take lightly. My problem with it is that some people say that, that's the cowardly way out, or look what all the things he had in his life and why would he do something like that. Depression's a personal issue as well. It's not the same for everybody. It's not a universal, there's no cure universally. You can take, happy pills, as they like to say, but it doesn't mean that it's going to cure your personal depression. At least that's the way I view it. I know that a lot of people are going to disagree with me. I personally don't find depression medication, antidepressants, and I've taken a whole slew and array of them for many, many years. So before I get my head cut off, for me personally, in certain instances, they might have balanced the chemicals that were wrong, but in the big picture of it, I don't think that they took away what's causing the depression, and no pill's going to take that away. There's a lot of reasons why people get depressed. For me, growing up was not easy. I dealt with one parent that was gone, not there, and the other one who had a very bad alcohol problem. By the way, all of these things I'm talking about and admitting, not an easy subject for me to breach, but for me, it is who I am, and I have to stop worrying about what people are going to think, because bottom line, that's what happens. I worry about what everybody thinks, and everything goes to pot after that. Everything I want to say goes to pot, the whole thing does. Anyway, my dad left. My dad divorced my mom when I was 5 years old. He left. My mom was a very bad alcoholic, a raging alcoholic, and she carried on that way for most of my childhood up until maybe I was about my early teens. And even then, it was very, very hard to live with her. We lived with my grandmother, who basically was the main person taking care of everything. I mean, I was young of course. I was little, and you know, and my mother was so not only dysfunctional but non-functional. She quit her jobs, or she would get fired from jobs. She didn't work. So my grandmother did most of the income bringing in, and my uncle also lived with us at the time. It was a very strange situation, but income-wise, it was basically on my grandmother. So I was raised without a lot of things. I mean, I don't want to say I was poor, but you can pretty much figure out that that's probably where it was. So my grandmother took care of me most of the time, as far as school and getting me to school, getting me ready for school, all my grandmother. And there's more to it. I don't want to even really go into this because it's 43 years worth of a life that I don't want to just lessen in a video of 10 minutes or however long this is going to be. And there's the FedEx guy. Figures. Anyway, the video dealt with depression and suicide. You've got to be kidding me right now. Sorry about that, guys. Of course, I always get interrupted. Anyway, so most of my life, I pretty much adapted to whatever my environment was, society was. I lived in the Bronx. I keep getting cut off, apparently. So, anyway, I had a very difficult life as far as struggling with depression. I think I started being really depressed at the age of 11 years old. The first time that I even thought of suicide was at that age. In fact, I can recall making a journal entry saying that I took some aspirin, and I think at the time it was like children's aspirin, but I took a bunch of them. Didn't do anything to me but give me a stomach ache. But the thoughts of suicide were always in the back of my mind. Life got harder and harder, and situations just seemed like they were endless and never ending, and school impacted a lot of it, and environment impacted a lot of it. And then I got older. I think the worst I've ever hit was my 20s, where depression just set in so badly because of the identity crisis. I suffered so bad. I really would like to go into a series of giving you guys a little bit of background, a little story on a lot of things I don't talk about. I have some old journals that I used to write very clear, descriptive things about my life that went on, and I've been wanting to do a book about them. I've been wanting to write about them for years, and I never could do it, because for me it's just the process of writing is also kind of tied into why I became so openly emotional and wanting to share my feelings, but it's always the way, the manner in which I did it. So writing was always a good thing, but then as I got older, it became more of a hindrance, because I would read it back and I would read how depressed I was, and I couldn't take it anymore, so I stopped. And I didn't go back to it. Some people will say in my family that I was a great writer. I don't really see it that way. My dad right now currently is the one who owns and has most of my journals, and I trust him with it. So anyway, I'm leading into the video that I made, and it's pretty harsh, I'm not gonna lie. It's at a point where if you know anything about me, I'm pretty straightforward, so I'm really not very nice, I'm not very sweet, and I'm not very cordial in the video. I am going to attach it to this one. I just want to give you guys a little bit of background. I just want you guys to know that anything I say in that video is also just really because of my own personal experiences. I'm not trying to make you guys upset or anything. So here it is. I hope you guys don't get upset. So I decided I'm gonna vlog because it's been a minute since I've done it, and quite frankly I'm really angry and really upset, and I've got a bunch of stuff that's going on in my mind, and I'm going through some stuff that is happening because of everything currently going on, and I don't talk about it because
quite frankly, it never fucking mattered until somebody fucking offed themselves. That's the truth. And you want to know something? You fucking people don't understand how real this is. Like, you don't understand how fucking real it is to feel, to think, to have it in your mind all the time how depression can fucking just take you over. You don't understand. And the way you understand, you know how you people understand, is when somebody fucking kills himself. You know what? People make me sick. I have gotten to the point where I have alienated myself. I have stayed out of people's way for months at a time because I get my heart broken very easily. I'm one of those people that wears their heart out on their sleeve, and I love people and I care about people, but people fucking suck. And that's the truth of life, okay? People don't decide one day, they get up and they just decide they want to off themselves. They don't decide that. That's not the way it works. In fact, that's the most untrue fallacy there is out there. Okay? Let's get something straight, all right? Just because you can't see somebody physically suffering or physically own any symptoms aside from the normal looking whatever a depressed person looks like to you, you think that a person who smiles, who laughs, who jokes around constantly, makes fun of themselves and everybody else, that's basically, they're just being goofy, they're just giving something, some funny self to the world. It's not all about that. It's a fucking facade, okay? Facade. Whatever. I'm one of those people. I am one of those people, okay? I have had depression since I was 11 years old, probably younger. And I have tried many times to shut it up, to shut it off, because I don't want to hear what it has to say. And I didn't choose for it to happen. I didn't want it to happen. Were there things that triggered it? Probably. Many things that triggered it. My childhood, my parents divorced, my grandmother basically raising me because my mother had her issues going on. Later on in school where, forget it. I was never part of anything real in my eyes. I tried to be, but I wasn't. And forget my 20s. My 20s were the worst. The absolute worst, because I got in every bad relationship I could get into. I got in every situation that just took me and took the best out of me. And even before all of that, when you don't understand where your foundation is and you don't understand why God allowed this, or why you feel like you can't be loved completely, or why you can't be accepted because you don't even know what the hell you are. But you have to show something to the world because society wants you to be something. You have to do something. You owe society, don't you? Every day we're supposed to do something for society. Well, you know what? In order for us to be able to do something for society, society has to fucking help us. They have to give us something to what to do something for society. And this past week, it's been more and more aware to me, because when everybody gets themselves involved is when somebody dies. That's it. It's when somebody dies. Then people are like, oh, depression's serious. Oh, you really shouldn't make fun of a person who's got depression. You shouldn't say that, this person is a coward or whatever. You're all liars, okay? You all don't know unless you're personally involved in it, unless you personally feel it. The ones that talk the smack about, oh, you really should seek help, or you should do this, or you should do that. Fuck you, because you don't know. You absolutely don't know. I've been to counselors, to therapists. I've been on every medication known to man for depression. I have been in and out of hospitals all through my 20s. I have taken bottles after bottles after bottles of shit that never helped me, okay? And I decided one day that I didn't want it anymore. And that one day can turn into many multiple days where you don't want it anymore. And it's not about being selfish, and it's not about not caring about the people you love. No, actually, it's the opposite. It's giving the people you love a break because you feel you're a burden to those people. You feel like you have given so much negativity in their life. Why would they want you in their life anymore? And let's face it, people, what you're not willing to say, I'm willing to tell you. You don't want to hear it. You don't want to deal with it. You don't want to know about it. You know why you don't want to know about it? Because who wants to hear about negativity 24 hours a day? Well, I got something for you. Who wants to hear about your stupid drama 24 hours a day? Who wants to hear about your stupid bullshit on Facebook 24 hours a day? Who wants to hear about the crap you put on YouTube 24 hours a day? Some of that shit's just not important. You know when it becomes important? When somebody offs themselves. Then the world wants to know. Why? Why? They had everything. No. Maybe materialistically they had everything. Maybe physically they had everything. Maybe virtually they had everything. But mentally, not to them. Mentally, they were missing that one thing that you all take for granted. That's peace of fucking mind. That's the idea that you can walk this world and be whoever you want to be. We don't all think that way. We don't all feel that way. We feel like we have to conform to some weird bullshit in this society because God forbid we should just be ourselves and just be accepted for that. No. There's no acceptance in this society. In fact, it's gotten worse. There's all this anti-bullying and anti-this bullshit. Because if you were willing to do something, your ass wouldn't be recording somebody getting fucking beaten up or bullied or hurt or some animal getting hurt or some child locked in a car. People actually give a shit. That's when it's going to change things. When people actually turn around and they say, you know what? I want to listen to everything you have to say, even if it's bad. And actually give of that time. I've done it for many people in my life, which is why I suffered as much as I did. I suffered for so many people. My own family, my friends, my boyfriends, my relationships. And I would do it now. I have a child I have to raise in this world, and I worry every day of my life of all the standards and all the bullshit that's out there. And she's such a separate child from all of that I don't want her to be sickened with all this garbage that I have to see every day. And I'm part of it too. I'm trying to make people like me. I try to make people accept me. I try to make people understand me. Through what? Through what? Through just talking to a camera. Well, if I can make you guys understand me, good. Because it's about time you open your eyes and you open your ears and you actually listen to what is going on around you. Not just in the celebrity form, in everyday form. People feel like this every day. I feel like this every single day of my life. You just don't see it. I don't allow you to see it. I'm playing a part, I'm playing a role. I give you guys what you want. The happy-go-lucky girl, the pretty girl, whatever. I'm not giving you who I really am. Because quite frankly, you don't give a shit. And the only reason I'm saying it now is because this has hurt me so deep in my heart that I can't hold it in anymore. That for once in my life, after sitting and crying and hurting so much, I know what it is. And it's the fact of the real story, the real fucking reality of it all is that people don't give a shit enough to want to really stop somebody from really doing what they want to do. And it's not about getting attention. It's not about taking the easy way out. None of that's easy. Do you understand how uneasy it is to take a lot of pills and swallow them? Do you know how uneasy it is to cut through flesh? Do you know how uneasy it is to look over 20-story buildings? Do you think that's easy? I don't think so. Your human mind doesn't think any of that's easy, but your fucked up mind does. Because you know what your fucked up mind says? Do it. What else is there? And you know what? Sometimes I ask that same goddamn question. What else is there? Is there tomorrow? Yeah, maybe. But for what? For what this world gives out? Cell phones and computers and crap. Nobody even wants to talk to anybody anymore on the real. Nobody even wants to communicate anymore on the real. Everything is through phones and technology. Oh, and by the way, all you people that like to sit on computers and give opinions about other people, fuck you too. Because I guarantee I will have a couple of those and I don't really care. Because I'm at the point where I'm tired of hiding. I'm tired of being a person that feels like she can't communicate because people don't get it. I get it. I will be here for any woman, man, or child. That's who I am. But I won't be tricked, and I won't be phonied, and I won't listen to phonies either. So if you're real, I've got all the time in the world for you. In fact, I hope that any one of you that sits there and feels like shit right now and that can't stand any of this garbage that you read every day, or the fact that people on TV are calling people cowards for taking the easy way out. I'm sorry, Robin Williams did not take the easy way out. He took his only way out, the only way he knew how, and you wouldn't understand what that feels like until you're there. I hope you never feel this bad. I hope you never know what it's like to eat yourself on a daily basis because you don't know what the fuck is going on with you anymore. I hope you don't. I really, truthfully, from my heart, feel that. I hope that anybody that feels emptiness out there gets a little bit more from me today because you deserve it. Who I'm talking to is the one on the edge. The one sitting there that thinks, you know what? No more. Don't. Look away from all this garbage because there is something out there for you. There's something you can find. I found some stuff. It's got nothing to do with being behind a camera. I do that as my hobby. I do that to give the world some stuff. But my child, my family, some of my friends, and my true inner stupidity is what makes me feel I can get through. And you will find it too. And you know what? I feel so bad for you for feeling this bad because I know what it's like. And I'm tired of people covering it all up in these nice little posts and these nice little, tributes. I loved Robin Williams too, and it's killing me that he did what he did, but I understand it. I will never condone it for anybody else, but I understand where you can be. And you know what? You don't want that. You really don't. Believe me, I'm a survivor of something like that. I was on the moment of my last breath and I kicked and I screamed and I told myself, no. And you will force out that poison that tried to kill you and you will move on. It's not your fault. It's not your fault. There is something for you. There is a light at the end of the tunnel. There is. Yeah. There's people that love you. There's people that will surround you and people who will condone you and tell you you are worth it. I will tell you you're worth it because you are. And if any of you are angry at me for doing this, I'm sorry, but it had to be done, and I had to say what I had to say because I'm tired of pretending, and I'm tired of sitting here and reading the posts, and I'm tired of just having these thoughts in my head just flood my head. I want my kid to be a sound kid. I want my kid to never know what this feels like ever because I'll take it all before I want her to have 1 ounce of it. And I feel that way about all the kids out there, all the youth, all the teenagers. Teenagers, you think you're not understood? You are. Believe me, you are. I will talk to anybody. I will tell you anything you want to know, but I won't do it because it's a trend. And I won't do it because somebody in the celebrity died. I feel bad. But for now, I'm giving this because I want to, because it was time, because I'm tired of hiding, and I'm tired of not giving this the whole truth, the whole thing. If you don't understand it, then click off and unsubscribe, because this is the way it's going to be. I wish you guys all the peace in your mind and in your heart. And please know that you're not alone. And please know that there's somebody out there that sees through all the bullshit. All right, I'm going to go, guys. Love you. Stay strong.